Oh, you started already. Okay.
10 minutes?
Okay,
What does that mean?
10 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Woo, Lord Jesus.
You sound like my grandma. Ooh, Lord Jesus. Go ahead.
Okay. The sermon today is coming from scripture in Matthew chapter 14, verse 13 to 21. When Jesus heard what had happened, he withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place. Hearing this, the crowd followed him on foot from the towns. When Jesus landed and saw the large crowd, he had compassion on them and healed their sick. As evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food." And Jesus replied, "They don't need to go away. You give them something to eat." We have here only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they answered. "Bring them here to me," he said. And he directed the people to sit down on the grass. Taking 5 loaves and 2 fish, looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 baskets full of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides women and children.
Mm-hmm.
This passage is the only miracle found in all 4 of the Gospels. It takes place out near the shore of the Sea of Galilee. Jesus has just heard some news that was disturbing. John the Baptist had been beheaded.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear of news like that, it can really set you back, take you backwards for a minute. So Jesus had to get away from everybody after hearing this news. And he went by boat to this solitary place. When you're going through things, you need to go to a solitary place. You need to find out where you are. By the way, the sermon title is Preaching Through Your Pain.
Okay.
Now, I know you've heard this story over and over and over again. And you've heard about the feeding of the 5,000. You know how the preacher does it.
Mm-hmm.
And he fed 5,000 hungry souls. Well, I thought when I heard it that the people were hungry, didn't have anything to eat, they were poor and desolate. But I found out that wasn't the case. Hearing this, the crowds followed Jesus. So I said, how in the world can the crowd follow Jesus if he's on the boat? But I found out that the Sea of Galilee had a narrow part where they could see from one side of the sea to the other. So they followed him on the boat while he was in his solitary place. You're still going to have people following you, no matter what you're going through. So you need to take your own time for yourself. Go into that solitary place. Deal with your own issues before you deal with others. Now the story goes on. Evening has approached. I'm sorry. When Jesus landed, he saw the crowd. He had compassion on the sick. That's another thing you need to watch out for. Sometimes when you're hurting, you don't want to deal with folks. You don't want to have compassion. You don't want to hear their stories. You just want to be alone and left alone. There's a difference between the two. Anyway, I better move on.
That's a transition.
So the crowd followed him, and he had compassion on them. And in the evening, as evening approached, he took them to this desolate place. He took them out where there's no food, there's nothing going on there, there's hardly any vegetation. And he preaches to these 5,000 people all day long, ministering to them, healing their sick, and working miracles. And these people were his followers. So when you're going through, you might want to be around people who are like-minded, people who will support you. And they knew that they were beginning to understand that he was the Messiah. Anyway, he said, bring them to me. I'm sorry, I skipped over. In this desolate place where they were, the disciples had been there all day. And after being there all day, they were tired. And the disciples wanted to send them away. They said, just let them go home. Let them go buy their own food. You know how you've been in church all day and the preacher been a little long? And what's the first thing on your mind?
Yes, sir.
Where we going to get some food at? But Jesus said, don't send them away. Let them stay here. Let me minister to these people. And he said it this way. They don't need to go. You give them something to eat. They said, we don't have anything to give them. But 5 loaves and 2 fish. So Jesus had them gather the crowd. And he said, sit them down on the grass. And then he said, bring them here to me. And as he directed them to sit down on the grass, he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. And he did something interesting here. Something I never noticed in this sermon. In this passage. He took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. He looked up to heaven. He gave thanks. He broke the loaves. He gave them to his disciples. They gave them to the people. That is a picture of communion. So now Jesus has communion with God and communion with the people.
Okay.
So I just wanted to suggest to you, next time you hear this sermon preached, and you will, don't concentrate so much on these hungry 5,000 people. But concentrate on the fact that after Jesus had dealt with all his pain, after he came out ministering in compassion and love, he had communion with his people and with God. That's the essence of preaching through your pain.
All right, sure. 8 minutes.
All right, is that what you're looking at me for? All right, let's examine her sermon first, delivery aspects.
Delivery aspects. I like that you made it seem like very comfortable, like just, preaching, it's almost like having a conversation. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay. What other comments on the delivery aspect?
She made it somewhat comical, but she related to the audience. She pulled you into it, kind of give some life to what she's actually talking about.
Okay, so Brown, what's another word for comical? We don't want comical, but what?
Charismatic.
Not charismatic. Humor.
Okay.
That's typically what we want. Humor. When you say comedy, then that kind of have a different connotation to do with art.
No, I thought the one thing I might suggest is, but I found, you kept saying, but I found out. So instead of saying, but I found out, because of course you did, and you showed the evidence that you researched the text, rephrase that a little bit, but to say, but here's what happened, right? And so, because show us, we know you did the work, we saw it, it was evident, but then, so people know, like, yeah, this is my text, I did the work. So.
Yeah, good point. I notated that. You can allude to it that way. You can even suggest, research has it, or you can even cite a person, but you don't have to say I found out. I found. there's just another way of tightening that up. That's a good point, you know. It may not mean much, but it's a good point, you know, especially in similar contexts, okay?
I like how she let her personality kind of drive her, or, yeah, I would say her personality kind of drove her sermon. I think we
Okay.
talked about that in one of the
Okay.
lectures. It shows in your expression, your facial expression, your body, it was like that was Denzel. It's not like you said, anyway, it was like you was free, and it kind of drove us in. It kept us engaged in your message, and I thought that was beautiful how you let your personality shine through your message.
Okay, so she used her personality to as a tool of engaging the audience.
Yes.
Okay, good point.
At the end, I wish you had more time to develop that idea. I know you have it in your manuscript and everything else like that, but the idea of that being a picture of community.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
That was a deep theological
That
statement.
was good.
It was.
And connecting that with the realness of the person of Jesus' pain, tired, right? That realness that was there. And then despite that, communing with God, communing with the people. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was a great performance.
I agree. You told us in essence, this is not what this text is about. This text, this event is about this.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Very clear.
We've already heard about this in this way that we've heard, but now let me tell you essentially the message here. And that's the way to do it. So I agree. That part got you in heaven.
Because of that, it's making me want to go back and study this text.
Yeah.
And so if you can engage a room full of people who have heard this text a million times over, those who are in seminary, let's just be honest, I'm like, I gotta go back and really deal with that, because every time I've heard it taught, preached, that's what, we get from on the surface. So I like that. It looked like you took kind of like a narrative approach, like you said, very conversational. I would say, as you're doing that, hone in on your division statements or your points a little bit more, so that we know what those, like the old preacher would say, your tent poles, those things that you want us to kind of hang our hat on. But yeah, it was very much like you. So I enjoyed it.
So that's the approach I want each of us to take. As I was suggesting in your sermon, there are many approaches you can take, but you got to push yourself to determine, okay, now, what is the text? And apparently you stumbled across something through your research. Someone informed that. And that's the purpose of doing that research, to a point where you discover or discern a deeper, got it? A deeper theological meaning. That's what you want, a deeper theological meaning. Okay, we got time. One more.
Well,
Nah.
when I came up here, I came with, I threw it out, because I know me. My 10 minutes would have been 20. So, I kind of winged it.
Okay, well, that's a good way.
That was good. That was good.
Look at God.
I like Wayne.
All right. Yeah.